Hello and welcome to Dudley Zoo and Castle, where you join us here at our amazing lemur wood enclosure. It's a 1 acre enclosure where the lemurs are free to roam all around. Now, where we are back open, you will be able to come in here, but like I am, you will be advised to wear a mask. That's not for your benefit, it's actually for the benefit of our lemurs. Unfortunately, we can pass on viruses. Now here at the zoo, we have 5 different species of lemur. We've got our collared lemur, we've got our black lemur, we've got our black and white rough lemur, we've got our red rough lemur, and we've also got our ring-tailed lemurs. Now that may seem like a lot, but out in the wild there are over 112 different species of lemur, and they all live on one island, the island of Madagascar, which is the 4th largest island in the world. Now lemurs play a vital role in keeping an ecosystem going. They're called a keystone species. That basically means that these guys work sympatrically with the ecosystem to help it keep going. They're really important for seed dispersal and pollination. Now our black and white rough lemur, for example, they are one of the only species that can spread the seeds and pollinate certain types of plant in Madagascar, which are endemic, which basically means they can only be found in Madagascar. Now lemurs communicate in loads of different ways, from the largest being the Indri, which like to call and sing just like the gibbons did in one of the videos we posted recently. Or we've got the black and white rough lemurs, which do something called a raucous, which basically sounds like someone screaming, and it can be heard around a kilometre away, and that's just to mark territory. All the way down to our ring-tailed lemurs. Now they can communicate through small grunts and squeaks, but most of their communication is actually done through scent marking. Now you might see them when you come to the zoo rubbing their chests and rubbing their wrists all over different things, and that's actually just their way of moving their scent around. When they're actually fighting over territory, they'll have something called a stink fight, where they'll raise their tails up in the air and splash their scent around into the face of the lemur they're going against. And the lemur that can handle the scent for the longest wins, basically. Now, although they're amazing creatures and they're loved by loads of people that come here to the zoo, 98% of all lemurs in existence are currently under threat, with 33% of those being critically endangered, just like our black and white rough lemurs. Now, they're under threat mainly from habitat destruction through loads of different things, whether it's mining or logging or transferring land into agriculture, things like palm oil and stuff like that, really causes a big issue for these animals. Now, the other thing that does happen to many of the different species is something called the bushmeat trade, where impoverished people who are starving and have no food will actually hunt these guys for their meat. Now, this is becoming a rarer occurrence, but it does still happen. It's something we do need to try and persuade people not to do, because those are the sort of things where illnesses and pathogens can be passed from species to species and affect us like they have today. However, here at the zoo we try and do our best to help where possible. So we have been sponsoring a charity called the AEECL, which works out in Madagascar in a small territory up in the north for around 10 years now, where not only do we fund the research and conservation of these animals, but we also fund a local school teacher. And that is why we've built our Lima Conservation Hut here in our Lima Wood area. It's set out like a school, and that's because, like I say, we fund teachers to go into the schools out there and teach students not just basic skills, but also about the importance of the wildlife that they have there. I'm not going to leave you without giving you my fun free facts for the day. Fact number 1. Other than ourselves, they're the only other primate in existence to have blue eyes. Only one species of lemur this is the blue-eyed black lemur, very aptly named, and is actually the flagship species for the AECL, which we provide support for. Fact number 2, they're very clever animals. In fact, they can self-medicate. Now, in the rainforest or in lots of different habitats that they live, the answer to a lot of illnesses are there in plants. In fact, one of the strangest ones is the red-fronted lemur. So when they start to get bacteria or parasites growing in their stomachs, they know that there is a millipede with certain toxins that if they eat it, it will kill those parasites and toxins in their stomach and help protect them. And it's a really genius way of keeping themselves nice and healthy. And fact number 3 is that these lemurs are the oldest primates on the planet. Lemurs, or ancestors of lemurs, existed around 70 million years ago. They were actually roaming around at the same time as certain dinosaurs, and it is believed around 65 million years ago an area broke off and moved across to help form Madagascar, or to become part of Madagascar, and that is where the lemurs moved over there. Where the rest of the world carried on evolving and changing into more advanced forms of primates such as ourselves, lemurs stayed as they were in Madagascar, and it's almost like an amazing area where these fossils still exist. Now, I really hope you've enjoyed the talk today, and we cannot wait to have you back on site as soon as possible. 12th of April, we've all got our fingers crossed. Until then, we're going to keep doing these videos, and we hope to see you as soon as possible and as safe as possible. Thank you very much for listening, and see you next time.